The Story of a Penny Suit by Ken Whitmore, with Sheila Hancock as Muriel and Graham Roberts as Edward.
Edward, do we really have to have you in your vest for breakfast?
Well, who screams blue murder up the stairs about eggs getting hard? Oh, look at that. Underdone, all soft and runny.
I'm off now, Mum. 2 letters, one for you, one for Papa. Oh, there you are, kind sir.
Thank you, Beverly. Oh, this looks very grave and important.
Oh, you're off early, aren't you?
I'm chaperoning the 6th form round the Wedgwood Museum this morning. Oh, yours is from Italy.
Italy?
Yeah, looks like Pamela's writing. Bye, then.
Don't break the Portland vase.
Bye, Beverly.
Italy?
Oh, dear. This is from a solicitor.
Dear Ma and Pa, for the last 6 weeks I've been...
Edward, listen to this.
Just hush a minute, I was first.
Edward, this is important.
What's more important than your own daughter?
Yes, Edward,
that you haven't seen for nearly 2 years. Start again. For the last 6 weeks I've been living in the Jewish quarter of Trieste. My next-door neighbour is the local circumciser.
I beg your pardon? This is from a solicitor, Edward.
For more than a month I've heard no language except Yiddish. There's many a Jew word spoke in Trieste. Joke. Joke? I don't see any joke there, do you, Muriel?
Edward, I've been bequeathed a legacy by Mother's cousin Caroline in Winnipeg.
Break it gently to Mother, but I got married 6 weeks ago. Marriage isn't all it's cracked up to be, but it's better than a poke in the eye with a burnt stick.
Married?
Did you say a legacy?
Oh, Pamela, married.
A legacy? How much?
Pardon? Oh, 11,000. Oh, on earth has she gone and married?
Well, I hope she hasn't gone and married the local, you know what you call it.
Oh, Edward. Trust out Pamela to take all the pleasure out of any good news that comes my way.
All right, Beverly, switch on. Time for Star Trek.
Not tonight, thank you, Edward. We've a lot to discuss.
Haven't you got a meeting on tonight? Shelter or age concern or something?
They'll just have to prog on without me for once.
Listen, Mr. Spock's going to be swallowed by a giant frog.
£11,000. We've got to decide about our future.
What is there to discuss? We're made, aren't we?
Do you know where I've been today?
You've been to school, Muriel. It's not half-term, is it?
It was half-term for me, Edward. Yes, I've declared my own half-term. I've had a very full day today.
Have you been playing truant?
I've never had a day quite like it before. I've learnt a bit today about money. Nothing was too good for me. I went to Stafford first to the solicitor to get the cheque. I sat there all the way back in the train, holding it in front of my eyes and drinking it in. £11,000. And then I went to the bank. Remember 2 years ago how they wouldn't give us that £200 overdraft for the central heating?
Oh,
I want to deposit £11,000, I said. And you should have seen them fall over themselves. And the manager bounces out in his step this way. Madam, would you bring Mrs. Cope a cup of tea? He was all over me.
Muriel, you're a king.
So I looked him in the eye very carefully, taking aim, and I told him I'd be closing our account and transferring all our assets to the Building Society. And I hoped there'd be no delay in the transfer, like the 9 weeks he was humming and hawing about not giving us that loan.
Oh, why didn't you take me with you?
And then I walked out with my nose in the air, leaving him with his mouth open and 2 cups of tea going cold. Oh, you should have seen all the doors waft open when I said £11,000. The Building Society, the solicitor, the estate agents.
Estate agents?
He took me all over. Trentham, Endon, Western Heights.
We've got a house, Muriel. We don't want a house.
11,000, madam. Jump in my car at once, madam. Mr. Ridgway, the keys to Western Heights.
Western Heights?
I've never had a day quite like it.
Looking at houses? What do you mean? We've got a house.
Yes, and look at it.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Beverly?
Look at it, that's all.
It's a little palace, Muriel.
Look at your surroundings. I've lived in a terrace all my life. What's the outlook? A pot bank, the glue works, the marlhole. Half a mile away, they're ripping streets down like this one. Slums. You know, Edward, when I got to teacher's training college, I said, this is it. Goodbye to scummy, skunky Stoke-on-Trent. I thought I was nicely on the rails to a better life and nobody was going to deflect me. But somebody changed their points, didn't they? and I went off in absolutely the wrong direction. And got wrecked.
Wrecked? What's she on about, Beverly?
Well, I'll go and make you a cup of tea.
You've lost me, Muriel.
Why do you think I never hold a committee meeting here? Why is it always at somebody else's house, somewhere clean and ordered and civilised? Because I am sickened and ashamed and humiliated whenever I have to bring people into this street.
What's wrong with the flaming street?
It's narrow and dirty and smelly and squalid.
It was good enough for our parents.
Edward, don't you see? Our parents... Oh, well, never mind.
No, go on.
They didn't know any better, Edward.
I see. So, where do you want to go?
Western Heights. I've seen exactly the house.
Can you see me at Western Heights? You might as well polish me head and shoot me out into space. How much?
21.
2,100.
21,000.
Joke?
We've got 3 lots of wages coming into this house.
Beverly's saving up to get married. I thought she only paid you her board.
My mind's made up, Edward. I've always vowed if a chance like this fell into my lap, I'd grab it with both hands.
Good health and peace of mind are better than all the trimmings on the wedding cake, Muriel.
My mind's made up, I tell you.
Well, we'll see about that, shall we?
My dearest Pamela, we moved into the new house on Friday. Dad's being very sulky and childish over it all. He showed a total lack of curiosity and took no hand in the arrangements, never even went to look at the place. He was even under the impression we were keeping the old furniture. But that's not quite done at Western Heights, my dear. Dad left Antioch Street as usual on Friday morning, said nothing about never coming back to it. I got quite nervous on Friday night, thinking he might have run away to be a tramp. But at last his timid little tap came at the door, as if he were afraid of scratching the rich paint. And Mother made him take his boots off in the hall and put on some new furry slippers she's bought him. Then he came into the living room for the first time. He just stood there like a little boy looking at Aladdin's cave. I could see his huge eyes going over the mushroom-coloured carpet and the sage-green velvet curtains and the beautiful button-back Chesterfield in dove-grey velvet. She's got this swish chrome and glass coffee table and a very fragile Victorian spoon-back chair and green and pink scatter cushions. I could see his eyes going over all this and stopping at the sag bag, which is in a gorgeous shade of khaki.
Well, Edward, what do you think?
Oh, well, it's nice. It's very, very nice. What's that?
What? Oh, that. The sag bag.
Pardon?
It's a sag bag. It's a huge cushion and it's full of polystyrene granules and it sort of moulds itself to your body when you sit in it.
I'll tell you one thing, Muriel. It'll not mould itself to my flaming body.
Beverly, pass this plate to your father.
Oh, stroll on. We had fish fingers last night, or correct me.
I got the economy pack. It's a saving. We have to pull our belts in somewhere if we're to pay off that mortgage. You like them, don't you, Beverly?
Well, we had them for lunch at school, sweetie, that's all.
I can't please any of you. We had a visitor today, Edward.
Here, puss.
Edward, don't feed the cat at the table, it's fat enough. I said we had a visitor, didn't we, Beverly?
Oh, royal visit, yes.
Sophia Hambleton.
All right.
Sophia Colclough as was.
Sophie Colclough, little Miss Muck.
Yes, well, now she's Lady Muck.
Oh, what's she doing up here?
Don't you ever read the papers? She's always got her picture in the Sentinel with a cartwheel hat and a bouquet of wilting dahlias.
Sophie Colclough?
She married Gerald Hambleton, Hambleton's Pottery. They live at... No, they reside at that enormous house you can see through the woods, Clanricarde Hall.
Gee whiz, she does. Sophie Colclough? Oh, right hole they lived in. Her old man wouldn't have work, would he? Never got 2 halfpennies to rattle.
That's what I'm saying. You'd think she'd been born to the purple. I won't stay long, she said. The chauffeur has to meet my husband at the station.
We were listening to a play.
Will she come in? We were listening to War and Peace on the wireless. What was it she said, Beverly?
Are you listening to War and Peace, she said. Oh, I love the book.
She was almost illiterate at school.
War and Peace, eh?
She runs almost everything around Western Heights. Oxfam, president of the Women's Guild. She came to ask if I'd join the local shelter branch. I told her. I've been in it for 6 weeks or more. Oh, she says, Gerald and I have been wintering in the Canaries. I thought you were still living in Antioch Street, she said. Have you had a win on the pills? We're throwing a little cocktail party on the 11th. Would you and Edward care to come? Is Edward still a mechanic at that garage? I told her our Pamela's an anthropologist. She's been down the Amazon on her own, and she's married to a jazz pianist, and they've got a very smart apartment in Paris, and Beverly teaches the 6th form at the grammar school. Both my boys went to Repton, and now they're in the firm, she said. Pamela went to Oxford and the Sorbonne, I said. That settled her ash. I never could stand a snob.
God bless my soul. God bless my soul.
Hold on, old-timer. Hold on. Take it easy. You all right? Take it easy.
Oxygen to the brain.
Just lean on me, nothing to rush for.
Good day.
Don't talk, just save your breath.
That's better.
You feeling better?
Engine cog's out.
Oh, well, it's a steep bank, this is. It's deceptive. You've no business climbing a hill like this your age.
Worth the effort. Good view up there. Tree stump to sit on.
You put a strain on the heart.
Oh, I'm all right now. Shall we push on?
Are you sure?
Oh, certainly. Don't fuss. Lovely wood, this. Bluebells. Oxygen to the brain cuts out. I can't put one foot in front of the other when it does that. Used to have an Aston Martin. Did 100 miles an hour on the flat. Couldn't take a hill. What do you make of that?
Huh? Oh, well, gears, that'd be.
Tell you what the trouble was. Gears. What do you make of that?
Well, here we are. This where you want to be?
Just over there.
Oh.
Ah. There we are. That's better.
Fresh up here.
Take a stump.
Huh?
Take a stump.
Oh, right. Hey. Oh, you're right. It's a grand view.
I beg your pardon. Do allow me... I don't know what came over me. Do allow me to introduce myself. Felix Messenbird.
Ted Cope. How do? I've seen you trotting about.
Eh?
Marching about.
Oh.
On parade.
Ah.
That's an old soldier, I said.
23rd Armoured Brigade.
You walk some miles round these streets.
We were a tank regiment, latterly.
All weathers.
You been here long?
Oh, living here. Oh, 6, 7 months.
Ah. Like it?
Well, it's very pleasant.
Nor do I. Wicked snobs. Married quarters?
Eh? Oh, yes, wife and daughter.
I'm with my niece. Yes. Silly bit, but she's got great feminine charm. This is the only place where you can see that prospect of pot banks and slag heaps. Between those two hills.
You look right down on the city.
It's a workshop. That's what I like. You work down there?
Yeah.
What's your line?
Mechanic and welder. Only I train the lads up most of the time. Teach them the ropes.
Instructor?
Oh, not official. Not paid for. They all go through my hands. Some have got their own businesses now. I see them sometimes in their big cars.
Must be satisfying, nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. My wife is agitating for me to change my job.
Oh, take no notice.
White collar she wants me in.
Oh.
Oh, she's very thick with all these education people. She's a teacher herself, and she runs committees and that. Good works, you know. She's in cohorts with the director of the Polytechnic. She's got him interested in me.
Ah.
He's like expanding his motor mechanical department. She's pushing for me to be an instructor.
You qualified for that?
Well, I served my time with Armstrong Sidley down in Coventry. Only, well, I'm just happy where I am.
Happiness? Yes. That's rare. I used to race at Brooklyn. Yes.
You did?
What were those fellows' names? You know, Cobham and Campbell, that crowd.
Yeah.
Never used to get anywhere, mind you. Always used to blow up in my face.
I had the offer once to go off as a mechanic to one of the top drivers. We had a couple of nippers, so I couldn't very well, could I?
I don't see why not.
What? Oh, anyway, he was killed soon after that.
Would you like to see my car?
What have you got?
My Mercedes.
Mercedes?
SSK.
What, 1930-something?
34.
Where?
Down at the house. Mind you, it hasn't gone for 20 years. Perhaps you could make it go.
Edward, where have you been? Do you know you're nearly an hour late for luncheon?
Luncheon? Well, since when has it been called that?
Be quiet. Beverly's brought her young man. Get your shoes off. Your slippers are there. Where have you been?
I've been taking a look at the Mercedes, an old SSK.
Edward, what's that on your jacket?
What?
Come here.
Where?
Turn round.
Oh.
It's thick all over you.
Aye?
It's right down your trousers. Oil. Have you been under that car in your best suit?
Well, I was only doing a bit of tinkering.
You've ruined that suit.
It's not the end of the world.
You'll have nothing to wear on Tuesday.
Tuesday?
I've made an appointment with Norman Bird on Tuesday.
Norman
The
Bird?
director of the Polytechnic.
Hello, Norman Birdie.
I've made an appointment with him on Tuesday.
Well, we'll see about that, shall we? Oh, it's all bonkers. Look at my fingernails, Mr. Massenbird. White. If I run into any of my old mates, I have to keep my hands in my pockets. And the lads. Well, you get a different class of boy at a polytechnic.
Difficult to teach?
Oh, it's no adventure anymore. Diagnostic test bay, rolling road, brake test apparatus. It's more like an operating theatre than a workshop. It's like, well, it's like teaching tailors dummies. You won't believe this. They even expect me to wear a suit.
There's one thing puzzles me, Ted. If it's such a terrible bore, why do you stick it? You must have been there for more than a year now.
Pardon me, Mr. Massenbird. You've never been married.
Who's better off, eh, Ted? I once wasted 2 years of my young manhood chasing a woman. Yes. Mary Robinson Daniels.
Led you a dance, did she?
Eh? By Jove, she led me a dance. I was a subaltern. Her father was in the Indian service. One of the lords of creation.
Oh, this was in India, was it?
Had this curious way of holding her head up and flaring her nostrils like a horse sent in water. It was very sweet, nonetheless. Her father's job took them all over the subcontinent. Yes, I pursued her. By Jove, I wangled leaves and postings. any excuse. Exhausted my ingenuity to follow that girl. Yes. Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, she could be very crushing. Kept me at bay, you know. Damned annoying. She had droves of followers, but I believe I amused her. I was slavish, and she toyed with me. Yes. I swore an oath. I will beg this partridge or bust. Yes.
Yes?
2 years this went on. And then in Kashmir, it was snowing. She said, just out of the blue, "Your relentlessness has conquered me." Imagine that. Your relentlessness has conquered me. I am yours.
Well, what then?
What?
I mean, when she'd said...
Oh, well, that sobered me up. I literally ached for that woman. I suddenly saw the trap she'd laid. Yes. Gee, they're devils. 2 years she'd been preparing this ambush. There I was, delivered into the hands of the enemy. I skedaddled that night from Kashmir. Never saw her again. I think I read it right, didn't I?
Eh? Oh, yes, played your cards a treat.
Ancient history.
Makes you think.
Mary Robinson Daniels. See? You were outmanoeuvred, and now look at you.
Pardon?
Pushed around. Never recovered from that ambush by what's her name?
Oh, no, it wasn't like that, honestly. It was me did all the chasing.
Oh, excuse my saying so, Ted, but you really are simple-minded.
No, she had a fiancé. Oh, cut him out.
Oh, Ted.
No, it was this fellow at the Polytechnic, as a matter of fact.
Which fellow?
The director, Norman Bird.
What are we talking about now?
The man Muriel was engaged to was Norman Bird, the director of the Polytechnic.
I say, that's rich.
It was at this New Year's Eve dance. See, we all lived in the same street. Muriel, me, Norman Bird. Oh, and Sophia Hambleton. All lived in houses with outside toilets. Funny that.
Eh?
Well, I looked over the wall once and saw Muriel sitting on the lav. She was one of the high school crowd, her and Norman Bird, and as they got older they had these far-out ideas. You know, moral disarmament and that sort of thing. Big thinkers. Well, I was just out for a good time. I used to fancy her, though. She got to be very attractive in this toffee-nosed way, and it made her very desirable. She used to treat me as if I'd dropped off a bug. I didn't think I stood a chance, but then I caught her on the hop. Norman was always a bit on the dull side. Did I tell you about him saying I should come respectably dressed?
No.
Says I should wear a suit.
Oh, never mind that. You were telling me about Muriel.
I haven't even got a suit.
What?
It got covered in oil.
Doing a job, you mean? Well, didn't you put in a claim?
It was for a friend.
You claim from the blighter. It strikes me anybody can walk all over you.
But you see how he's a bit prissy, Norman Bird. And he was just the same as a young bloke. So I think Muriel was feeling, I suppose, frustrated.
At the New Year's Eve dance?
Between you and me, I think she was wanting it badly.
A polka.
What?
Mary Robinson Daniels. Always keen to drag me off for a polka.
Anyway, suddenly at this New Year's Eve ball, we clicked, just like that.
Edward? Edward! For heaven's sake, get a move on. The party starts at 8:30.
I'm coming. Just getting my gardening boots off. I don't want to muck up your stair carpet.
You might have told me you were going into the garden.
Hey, you're going to get molested going around dressed in your brazier and thingies.
Never mind that. Come in and get dressed. What are you goggling at?
Come over here and be molested.
The heart says yes, Edward, but the chassis says no. Here, thread this needle for me. This rotten shoulder strap's gone and broken. My eyes are going the same way as everything else.
Well, what's that?
Well, it was a petticoat once upon a time, what's left of it. I got it when miniskirts were in fashion. It's right up to my bum. When we're rich, Edward, you can buy me some nice, lush, lovely underwear.
Oh, well, what's that hanging out of the drawer? Here. Isn't this a petticoat? It looks brand new.
Bright orange.
What's wrong with that?
Bright orange under a navy cotel dress.
Aye?
Thread the needle.
Oh, all right then.
It was a Christmas present from your Aunt Rose. It's absolutely horrible. I do my best when I'm buying presents for your family. I fit in with their tastes. Then they give me presents in their taste, but not mine.
Here you are, Needle.
What's that smell?
Smell?
Edward, did you have a bath?
Oh, I had a bath, and then I've been turning the garden over, haven't I?
Oh, Edward, couldn't you have done it the other way round?
Only if I'd got in with you.
Oh, I've gone and pricked my finger.
Oh, are you all right, love?
Oh, don't fuss. Get your clothes on. Why don't you ever use that bottle of Brute Beverly got you for your birthday?
Aye?
I was talking to Norman Bird last week, and I remember thinking he smells so sweet. He smelt like mountain violets.
I don't like a man to smell like a powder puff.
So I've noticed. This strap's so rotten it keeps crumbling away as I'm sewing it. There's clean pants in the dresser.
Oh.
Hurry up. Sophia said to come early and give her a bit of a hand. Oh, I do wish you'd go in for a decent suit, Edward.
Well, what's wrong with these? Look at that. Lovely sharp crease.
You know, I can hardly see to sew. I'll be needing glasses next. And talking of glasses...
Glasses?
Promise to keep off that bottled beer tonight. You know how you kept bringing up wind last time. Stick to sherry. And if you do bring up wind... Edward, are you listening?
I'm trying to get my shirt on.
If you do bring up wind, whatever you do, don't say pardon.
Pardon?
I said if you do bring up wind, don't say pardon. It's very non-you.
Pardon?
Non-you.
What's that?
Oh, just don't say pardon if you bring up wind, that's all.
I won't say pardon, Muriel.
What do you say, Edward?
I'll say it was Gerald Ambleton.
Right, that's the mouldy old strap done. Oh, look at it. All the colour washed out. I'd love just one decent petticoat. And look at this saggy bra.
It's what goes in it that counts.
And one pair of cotton bikini briefs that cost 30p from Hawkins. That's my best set of underwear.
Beauty needs no adorning.
You should see Sophia's underwear.
I'll put in a request tonight.
Silk nightgowns. A drawer full of nice coloured tights. The latest in bras, the little nylon things. This beautiful brown silk nightgown down to her toes with cream lace trimming down the front. French knickers from Lanvin. Gorgeous. It makes me sick. A 6-ounce jar of Madame Rocha's on a dressing table, and body lotion and bath oil and bath salts, dusting powder and splash-on cologne. Has she got more brains than me? Has she done something marvellous and saint-like I've never heard about, so God's laying on all this gorgeous lingerie for her as a reward? Where are my tights? Oh, this horrible old bed. Sophia and Gerald have twin beds with the most gorgeous, enormous swan's-down duvets.
Well, we haven't reached the twin bed stage yet.
A posture-sprung bed to support her spine when she sleeps. What's supporting my spine, I should like to know? Why should my spine be deformed? Our bed goes down into a big hole in the middle.
Happy Valley.
Oh, joke. Has she got more intelligence than me? Was she more beautiful than me? Has she still got a figure like mine, Edward? Luke, do hers still stand up like that without any support?
Gee whiz, Muriel, how should I know?
And this smelly old carpet from Antioch Street. She's got the most beautiful Chinese washed rug in her bedroom. She's a little bit parvenu, isn't she? I wouldn't mind if it was washed in Burslem, if only it looked a bit presentable. And she never sees a bill. Gerald takes care of everything. Carte blanche, Sophia's got.
Do you mind if I tell you something, Muriel?
What?
You always want too much, that's all. The grass is never green enough for you.
Too much?
Oh, a big brain husband, a big house.
Big? Have you seen Sophia's house?
When Beverly goes off, we'll be like 2 peas rattling about in this enormous place. Still, I won't argue with you. It's like juggling soap.
And tonight, I don't want you slurping your coffee or your soup, or making any of your precious remarks about the trade unions having the whip hand over industry. Gerald hates anything like that when he's relaxing. You're so naive when it comes to politics.
Oh, no, I'm naive. I just try to be sincere.
Good manners are more important than sincerity.
Come again.
Oh, Luke. Oh, there are things I've never been able to get over to you. You don't see anything. The important things.
What important things?
Oh, the half-grasped thoughts. The half-grasped thoughts too subtle to say, which in a marriage, an ideal marriage...
Nobody gets them thoughts over, Muriel.
No, Edward. Well, I'd better put on my nice, newly mended, bum-hugging little petticoat. Oh, damn! Damn the rotten thing!
What's wrong now?
Now the other rotten strap's gone and broke.
No, don't flap, there's plenty of time. Here, I'll thread you another needle.
It's rotten. Everything's rotten.
Oh, come on, little lady, it's nothing to cry over.
I'm not crying over the stupid petticoat.
Well, what are you crying about, then?
I'm crying because I don't know why I'm crying.
Hello, my turtle dove. Oh, Bernard not here?
Hello, Dad. Now I packed him off with a flea in his ear. Ooh, shut that door, there's a terrible draught. Well, nice party.
Sensational. Hey, you heard words?
1 or 2. Where's Mum?
If you're not careful, you'll end up wed. Taking the things off, I suppose. Now, it's funny. When I've had a few drinks, I always want to kick that sack bag all round the room.
Anybody there I know?
I fancy dribbling it down the wing. Oh, the old caboodle was there. The whole intelligentsia of Western Heights. Madam Sophia and the old caboodle. I've got 7 Masonic handshakes.
Oh, has Bernard gone?
We had a slight rumpus. Oh, close the door. Pleasant party?
Pleasant. Have you ever been shown up? Just look at him. Beverly, I was mortified.
What?
Mortified. It's not enough to go in a sports jacket and flannels when all the other men are in dark suits and some in evening dress. Oh, no.
Oh, what about that bloke, that Alec bloke?
In a very smart denim suit.
I took him for the window cleaner.
Oh, you do parade your ignorance, Edward. We're not in Antioch Street now, you know.
I'll get a suit.
Edward, you won't, will you?
As soon as we've stopped paying a mortgage, 29 quid a week, HP for furniture, 8 quid, telephone bill, 25 smackers, oh yes, I'll get a denim suit. With silk veneers and bells on the bottom.
It wouldn't be so undignified if he could hold his end up in conversation. You know, the only thing he said all night, Edward, don't slump in that sag bag.
No, I do beg its pardon.
His single contribution all night. Sophia was holding forth to a privileged circle about her holidays. Last year, we wintered in the Canaries. And what did your father say? We summered in Llandudno.
Joke.
He spent the rest of the night in a corner talking to the waiter.
Well, we used to play football together. I offered to give him a hand with the glasses. Hey, if I went to these parties and waited on, I might be able to buy a suit. That right, Beverly?
Oh, grow up, Father.
What?
Well, you're such a childish bore sometimes. You could at least make some effort to adapt yourself to your changed
He
circumstances.
doesn't make any friends of our sort.
You only think of yourself, Father.
Friends? Well, what about Mr. Massenbird? Didn't he measure up to your...
Mr. Massenbird's dead and buried. Anyway, he was a very queer old customer.
You what? Queer old customer?
He used to go round making remarks to women.
What?
Silly bitch, he said, every time he passed you in the street. He used to say it to all the women.
Mr. Massenbird did?
He'd a slate loose. He'd walk past you with that malevolent twinkle in his eye, and he'd sort of mutter out of the corner of his mouth as he passed you. Anyway, he's dead. What other friends have you got round here? Show me your friends, Edward, and I'll show you what you are. You make pots of tea for the dustman.
Yes. I do, don't I? Good night.
You off to bed?
Yes.
God bless, Dad.
Big sloppy lump. He's neither shape nor make. Beverly, listen. Sophia got me into a corner and whispered me something tonight.
What?
Listen, she's putting me forward as president of the Women's Guild in December. It'll have to be put to the vote, but it's more or less a fait accompli with her backing me.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes. The only trouble is an outfit. I don't know what I'm going to wear.
Well, you could do up your woolen navy coat. It's still very smart.
Yes, I could, couldn't I?
Trim it with braid.
Red braid.
Along the edges and the sleeves.
And military brass buttons.
Lovely.
And my cortel dress.
With a double string of red beads at the neck.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to be rich, though?
No!
Yes, yes.
Pamela, it isn't.
Oh, Dad.
Yay, whiz, Pam, well, come on in.
Oh, haven't we come up in the world?
Oh, give us a big squeeze, Miss Jim.
Oh, strong. Oh, what strength. Oh. Well, Father.
Gee whiz.
Did you buy just the hall, or do you own the rest of the house?
No, come on in here. This is the... I'll put you back down there.
The drawing room. Oh, very, very,
What your mother calls the sitting room.
very rich indeed. Oh, it looks like the best loo at Buckingham Palace.
Aye, have you run home to mother?
Oh, men are such bounders, Mummy.
Pam.
Is this the famous sack bag?
Oh, that is the famous sag bag. Hey, come here. You know you've got a few grey hairs.
Oh, well, you haven't. I expect Mum's got a few.
Snow White, Pam?
Mother?
Snow White.
3 years.
Has it been 3 years?
At least. Look at your hands, like a lady's.
Hey, the baby. How's the boy?
Oh, he's a boy. You are eating gracefully, you know. Playing the pedagogue must agree with you.
You look a bit of a scruff yourself.
Oh, I hitchhiked.
Hey, don't tell your mum.
Oh, where are they all?
Oh, they're off at a jumble sale. Sailor work. Your husband isn't with you then?
He's minding the baby.
I'd like to meet your husband, you know.
Yes, I'll fix it up. It really is quite overpoweringly posh.
Just a flying visit, is it?
Christmas. I suddenly felt like an old-fashioned masochistic family Christmas away from husband and child.
You always were as free as the birds of the air.
Why, I could never sit still and rot.
I always think that when I planted you into your mother, some birdseed got in as well. Oh, you'll see her eyes light up.
Still organising jumble sales and flag days.
She's going to be president of the, what's it?
The Winter Soup and Co. Distribution Society.
It's instead of being Mrs. Thatcher.
Pamela! Beverly, quick, look who's here. Pam, sweet.
Hello, Mum.
What's the matter? Pam! Give me a hug. Take this parcel off me, Edward. Sweetie pie.
Oh, my, you're shaping well, Beverly.
Oh, now give me a nice big cuddle. Oh, there. Pamela, you're wearing no bra. How did you travel?
What am I supposed to do with this parcel? What is it?
I got the Channel Ferry and then hitchhiked up.
It's a suit I bought for you. You what?
Thumbed it.
What's happened to your car? Have you got no money?
Oh, we are a bit broke at the moment. But anyway, I don't see why I should fritter it away on petrol when I've still got the figure for hitchhiking.
What kind of suit?
Put the blessed parcel down. And I've got another bone to pick with you, Lady Pamela. This grandson of mine.
Shall I open it then?
Shut up, Edward. He's 18 months old and we've never even seen him.
I begin to doubt the existence of this fabulous nephew.
What's my grandson's name, Pamela?
We haven't thought of one yet.
Joke.
I'll have to get the scissors to these flaming knots.
I'm perfectly serious. We're still thinking about it. Now, I've come a long way. Could we have something to eat? I'm starving.
Pamela, did you wash your hands?
Yes, Mummikins.
Bacon sandwiches are so greasy and I like to keep this room.
Mum, she's a grown woman who's explored in trackless lands.
It's all right, Muriel. I found the scissors. Now, let's get at that parcel.
Permission to submerge in the sag bag, Mother.
You were famished, weren't you?
Oh, gosh. It's like being drowned in marshmallow.
I'm not wearing anything loud. How do you know it'll fit me? Or green?
Have we come down to this? Suits from jumble sales?
He hasn't got a suit, that's all. This is absolutely lovely. And I only paid a penny for it.
A penny? 1 pence?
Organiser's privilege, my dear. Pick up the goods before the doors open.
If you count all the effort I've put into that organisation, it'd come to pounds, not pennies.
Ah, that's got it. Muriel.
Nice, isn't it?
Muriel?
Very natty. Oh, there's a hat as well. Here, let me.
This is Mr. Massenbird's suit.
Oh, does a Homburg become me? Look, it's the hat me dear old father wore upon St. Patrick's Day.
That's enough, Pam.
Talk about respect with his head erect as he walks down Old Broadway.
I said that's enough, Pamela.
What's the matter?
Take it off, Pamela. We don't want it dinted.
It's a gorgeous suit, isn't it, Dad?
What?
Go and try it on, then.
It is rather nice, isn't it? Give it here, Dad. Just feel the weight of this jacket. Oh, anything in the pockets, Watson?
Look at that hand stitching. Better than today's suits. They put them together with staples.
Oh, look what I found. What have we here?
Pamela.
Oh, what a sweet old photograph. Beautiful young girl.
Put it back, Pam.
No, wait a bit. It's writing on it. Mary Robinson Daniels. For I in thy heart had dwelling, and thou hast in mine forever. I say.
Oh, come on, Dad, try it on.
I'll go and hang it up. In the wardrobe.
You're what?
Well, I couldn't wear that.
Why not, Dad?
I knew this man. He was a friend of mine. He's dead.
What? You're not going to wear it?
Oh, of course he isn't going to wear it. Are you mad?
But Dad, it's in beautiful condition.
Oh, of course he couldn't wear it.
Just keep your nose out, Pamela.
I'll go and hang it up.
Thank you for your support and wise counsel, Pamela.
Same old domineering Pam. You're flying from Paris once in a blue moon.
I only wanted him to wear something decent at the Women's Guild.
What? I've heard of sex equality, but he surely hasn't...
The Guild banquet. Mother's being installed as president on Friday night.
Really? Oh, congratulations. But I don't see where Father comes into it.
It takes the form of a Christmas banquet. Husbands are invited and it's a very formal affair. Now do you see? He's only got his sports jacket and flannels.
So you fix him up with a dead friend's clobber?
And besides, he needs a suit for the Polytechnic. Norman Bird's very put out by your father's appearance.
Well, he can't possibly wear that spooky suit.
Can't he? Well, he's going to the Poly in it tomorrow.
Morning, Dad. Hey, what's this?
Hello, Mischief. Give us a kiss.
Do you always come down to breakfast in your underpants?
Where's your mother? Where's Beverly?
They said they had to go off early.
Oh, the crafting monkeys. How's this tea hot?
Listen, sexy. Go and put some trousers on and I'll fry you some bacon.
Pamela, did your mother take anything with her? A bundle? A bag?
Oh, just a bag of stuff for the laundrette. Why?
They've taken my trousers.
What?
There isn't a single pair of trousers in the house.
No, she can't have.
Even my blinking boiler suit.
Well, of all...
The conniving cats.
And the suit's hanging up.
The suit's hanging up.
The wicked, scheming cat.
Oh, now then, Pamela.
The rotten, dribbling, ranty
Soft
bone.
pedal, Pam, where's your sense of humour?
Humour? Where's your sense of outrage? You sit there in your underpants. Your trousers have been confiscated like a naughty 5-year-old. You've been totally humiliated by this emotionally stunted harpy, and you talk about a sense of humour.
What do you expect me to do?
Give her a black eye for a start.
Oh, you know what old man Massenberg used to say? Never hit a woman, Ted. But if you do, hit to kill.
Bloody right. That woman gets more twisted every time I see her. Why did you ever marry her in the first place? That's what beats me.
Why does anybody? She just made the grass lean the right way.
Grass? She's been stamping all over your grass for 25 years. It's a wonder Beverly and me haven't turned out screaming neurotics. And I must say I have my doubts about Beverly.
Oh, now who's twisting things? Don't say she wasn't a good mother to you.
Good mother!
Well, look at all the other girls who grew up around you in Antioch Street. Where are they now? In dead-end jobs, if they're lucky. You were brought up like two little duchesses. Elocution lessons.
Yes, I asked
Violin lessons and the piano. One instrument wasn't enough for Muriel's girls, oh no. No sweets because they'd rot your teeth. No telly because it'd rot your brain.
Like a scientific farmer raising a prize herd of shorthorns. Just in it for the rosettes, Muriel was.
In it for the rosettes when she read to you every night till her eyes were sore. You went all through Dickens before you were 12.
Oh, yes, and that tremendous air of martyrdom.
It was no picnic for her.
She gloried in every penny-scraping minute.
My God, Pamela, she had to scrape more than you'll ever know.
Well, go on then.
What?
Put it on. You are going to, aren't you?
Oh, I haven't said that, have I?
Pamela, will you ask your father if he wants another slice of tongue?
Tell your mother I wouldn't mind, Pamela.
Move that cup, Father.
Hey up, that's plenty.
Beverly? Oh, thanks, I'll help myself.
Tell your mother it's a nice bit of tongue, Pamela.
It's a nice bit of tongue, Mother.
I haven't enjoyed one single mouthful.
Pull yourself together, Beverly.
Well, how do you expect me to appreciate my food with him sitting there in his underwear? He could at least put his dressing gown on. He's been sitting there for 2 days now, and I
Take no notice, Beverly. Pamela, will you tell your father Norman Bird rang me at school today? He says if he isn't at work tomorrow, he'll have to send in a sick note.
Will you tell your mother he rang me afterwards, and I told him I had no trousers.
You didn't.
He said, what about the suit? Seems your mother and Norman Bird are in cohorts about this suit.
Will you tell your father Norman Bird would move mountains for me, but if he isn't at work tomorrow, he'll get his cards?
Tell your mother I'd have to go back to the garage, wouldn't I? Get down, puss.
Dad, please, 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 just try the blessed suit on.
You stick to your guns, Dad.
Shut up. Please, Dad. It might not even fit.
Don't fall for that one, Father.
I've pressed it for you. Just try it on and see. I promise you'll be delighted. Oh, you are a stupid idiot. Look at Mother. Look what you're doing to her.
I haven't touched her.
Can't you see she's twisted up to snapping point? You know once she's got an idea in her head, nothing will deflect her.
Listen, Beverly, it isn't every day of the week he finds a principle to stand up for.
She feels things more deeply than he does.
It would be a great novelty in this house if his feelings were consulted for a change. With Mother, it's just a question of keeping up appearances. With him, it's a question of respect. Respect for a dead friend.
What about respect for the living? And don't wives count as friends anymore?
Friends?
You've both got a very sloppy, sentimental approach to this subject. The old man's beyond being offended. And anyway, he'd be delighted at the idea of his suit not being left to rot. What if it was his car, his blessed Maserati? Would you say you couldn't use that just because it used to belong to him?
I'm getting out of this place for some fresh air. If you can't see the difference between driving a man's car and wearing his clothes, I'd give up. You two should fight it out with 6-shooters.
Beverly, will you ask your father if he wants this rubbish on? Dad,
I've not been sat here all night to miss the last shootout.
at least turn the blessed thing down. Well, look who's here. And I hope you've cooled down, Pamela.
What a delightful domestic scene. Mother and daughter sewing red braid by the hearth, father viewing avidly in his underpants.
What have you got in that bag, Pamela?
If it's somebody else's cast-off suit, you can take it away.
Calm down, Father.
What is it?
It's a lovely surprise. Now all close your eyes and open your mouths. Voila! Pamela!
Where did you get that?
One elegant olive green coat in rich, heavy linen.
Oh, clever. Clever, Pamela.
Swing back and bishop sleeves. Look at the lovely silk lining, eh? And what else have we here? Oh, yes. Hey, get an eyeful of this. A delicious slim-fitting dress to match the lining of the coat.
Has there been another jumble sale?
You really have outshone yourself, haven't you, Pamela?
Well, I was just passing Sophia's drive and I thought, what the heck? So over the liver patty and the wintering and the canaries, I put it to her, your little dilemma.
What little dilemma?
Well, Mother's outfit for the Women's Guild banquet. She might be a very skillful sempstress, Father, but even Mother, and all her cleverness with red braid and brass buttons, can't turn that dowdy old coat and dress into the apparel of a woman of position. Well, Sophia saw that as soon as I put it to her.
Oh, she's very fast on the uptake, Sophia.
Why didn't you say, she said. My wardrobe's just bursting with clothes I won't be wearing again. She actually thrust the outfit at me. I wore that when I was installed at last year's banquet, she said. Tell her it's a present from me and give her my love.
Oh, I can just hear her, Pamela.
Oh, well, that's settled then. You go to the banquet in this, and Father goes in his suit.
It's a very brilliant joke, Pamela, but now you can wrap it up and take it back in the morning.
Take it back?
You've made your point very neatly, but you know I can't wear it, so let's skip the amateur dramatics.
Oh, it's so simple, isn't it? You can't wear it, so wrap it up and take it back. It's a different story for you, isn't it?
What are you trying to do, Pamela?
I'm just putting her into his shoes. She's always had a complete disregard for his feelings. Let her get a taste of the humiliation she's so fond of handing out to him, that's all. Your trouble, Mother, is you've always put appearances before feelings, especially his feelings. Just to satisfy your insane vanity and snobbery, you drag him away from his friends and the background he's at home in and the job he likes, and you stick him in a pretentious house and a job he's not cut out for, until he's like a stranded whale.
Very good, Pamela. Game, set and match. But you go on about feelings, don't you? Let me tell you something about feelings. Feelings get roughened and chipped away by what happens to you in life. Yes, it's true what you say. I am a great snob. I always wanted to be someone. I always did have pretensions above my station, and I really am envious of Sophia Hambleton. I stand naked in front of you with all my blemishes. I've dragged him away from the background where he felt at home, you say. But what was that background? Those were people with no spark and no backbone, Pamela. People who had to abase themselves every day of their life and who could be kicked around by anybody.
Oh, God, how you exaggerate. You distort everything.
You could be right. I always had my sights set so firmly on getting out of there that, yes, perhaps it has twisted my way of looking at things. Because with me, it's always been a craving for onwards and upwards. I don't believe in settling for the muck heap you happen to be born in. I believe in progress.
To Western Heights?
And I believe it's every parent's duty to produce children more intelligent and fulfilled than themselves and enrich the world's stock of knowledge and happiness.
And so did Hitler, as it happens. And what about father's happiness?
If we were all like your father, the world would stand still. Yes, I wanted you to be different from the other girls around you. I wanted you to be cultivated and accomplished and genteel.
Oh, Cologne.
Yes, laugh. Genteel. One night when I was a young girl, Pamela, I was walking down Antioch Street and I saw this big black pool of water washing right down the middle of the road. But it hadn't rained. And there's no river nearby. And then I saw it was cockroaches. An army of cockroaches on the march. And I vowed that if ever I had children of my own, I'd never bring them up in those surroundings. After you were born, every moment in Antioch Street was an agony for me. I'd have done murder to get you out of there. And then all those years ago, when we did have the chance to get out while you were still little children... Well, there's no point in resurrecting that.
Resurrecting what?
It's no concern of yours. But let's just say there was a moment when a lot of my feelings died. But I never let go of that dream, even when it was too late. I got out of Antioch Street in the end.
Now, hold on. What's this about getting out of Antioch Street when we were little?
I think she means, Pam, when I...
Oh, Edward, shut your mouth.
No, your mother means when I ran off to Argentina.
Ran off? Argentina? What had you done? Robbed a bank?
No, just our own savings.
Argentina?
It was the money your mother was saving to buy a house out at Bagnall, and we nearly got there. But then I got this chance, this top racing driver, to be his mechanic. But it meant going to Argentina, so I just went.
Just went?
Never mind that, Beverly. He came home.
He was killed in this race in Argentina.
When did all this happen?
Oh, you were 4 years old and Beverly'd be about 18 months. Well, he got killed and I was just left stranded without a penny to rattle.
How did you get back?
That's it. Your mother sent me the money.
But you meant to come back all the time, didn't you? I mean, even if you hadn't been killed.
To be honest, I don't know.
Your father would have come home, Beverly.
Oh, well, the cat's out of the bag. I'm glad you know. I always said we should tell you. You know what? I think I'll try that suit on.
Yes, and I ought to let you. I ought to let you go ahead and make a fool of yourself.
A fool? What do you mean?
You can't have had a look at it lately. It's got two big holes like church windows in the trouser behind.
Big holes?
Like church windows, I tell you. Hasn't it, Beverly?
Big holes? How should I know? Why are you looking at me, Mother?
You were the one who was so keen on pressing it, weren't you, Beverly?
Beverly, you crafty Arab.
The little vixen. Muriel, I'm not having you parading in Sophia Hambleton's cast-offs, you know. I won't have it.
Oh? And did it take more of a man than you to get me into them, Edward Cope?
Mother, I haven't changed my opinion. I still think you've been a pig to him. But just out of curiosity, why did you take him back? Why have you stuck to him all these years?
You'd be surprised, Pamela. Your father's got hidden talents. For one thing, he's always been very good in...
Mother!
In the garden. Not as good as Norman Bird, mind.
Hey?
Joke, Edward.
Joke? Oh, joke!
In The Story of a Penny Suit by Ken Whitmore, Muriel was played by Sheila Hancock and Edward by Graham Roberts. Beverly was Carol Turner, Mr. Massenbird Arthur Lowe, and Pamela Heather Stoney. The play was directed in Manchester by Alfred Bradley.
This video was uploaded to the channel, Thinking Out Loud. Please like, comment and subscribe to the Thinking Out Loud channel. Thank you.